This is Jameela with Healthy Homes Coalition of West Michigan, just sharing why this technical assistance grant has been so helpful to our organization. I started at Healthy Homes about 2 years ago. And at that time, it was near the end of the pandemic and really in a position of restarting services, restarting programming, really rebuilding our team. And this technical assistance grant was incredibly helpful in meeting our needs exactly where we were. A small organization rebuilding programming, but had a lot to learn in the space of communication, in the space of donor development. And I really appreciate how intentional efforts were by the advisors through the resources that they had the ability to offer, but also in regards to areas that we sought out additional services and support.
I'm Victoria from Healthy Homes, and I am in the communications and donor development space. And as Jameela said, uh, during COVID, much of our staff was replaced. And so our new staff was coming in with a lot of excitement and passion, but we didn't have a lot of background on a lot of the projects that were happening before our time. And all of our case management activities had ceased due to the pandemic. So a lot of our efforts had to be focused on rebuilding the programming aspect. And so with APHA, we talked with them about rebuilding our social media presence, for example. We knew it was severely lacking. They helped us to formulate a strategic plan that would increase our impact and our online presence within the community. And with their help, we created our annual Screen Before School campaign that we share on our platforms. They provided us with the resources to design it, and then they also walked us through some technical assistance to execute it. And with that campaign, we were able to secure the home environmental hazard screenings that were needed that quarter to meet all of our metrics. They also empower us with our fundraising efforts. They connected us with a consultant who encouraged our grant writing opportunities. And then when we had a fundraising event, that was the first of its kind for our staff, the current staff that we had very little direction and capacity to dedicate our efforts outside of the programming. But they gave us invaluable advice on recruiting attendees and outreach to our local representatives so we could really increase our impact with fundraising, but then also getting our name back out there and our presence in the community known. Jameela, do you have anything else?
The only other thing that I would add is just along the space of advocacy. So a lot of our work is deeply rooted um, in reactionary work. So we work with a lot of families that have already been impacted. And so what we envision as important strategically for us is moving that needle from reactionary to prevention. And so last year, there was a boot camp put on by APHA in regards to communication strategies, and it was based on a variety of vendors. So media, local representatives. And so from that particular boot camp, we internally was able to brainstorm strategies on how to get our message across, and not just when there is a specific event or occurrence, but also how to maintain that communication. So when there are things that come up, we've already developed that working relationship to get our message across.
Yeah, we've been connected to consultants and peers, and with each meeting, we gain valuable tips and practical knowledge that would require so much information gathering and time that our staff doesn't have otherwise because of the programming and being a smaller staff. So we're just thankful for the opportunity to learn from these experienced individuals and technical advisors in this environmental justice space. They always meet us where they're at or where we're at and support whatever strategies we're building on at the time.
The vision for our community is, and our community, as in the folks that we serve in West Michigan, is to expand our reach and make a greater impact. And we see that through that we've been able to make greater strides just in building the internal capacity, but that's also been largely attributed to the resources that we've received throughout this grant, right? We're able to share the story of Healthy Homes Coalition. We've been able to share the experiences through respectfully and diligently and delicately the experiences of folks that we are serving. And being that we know that although we are in a small community, we know that what the community members that we work with are experiencing is not unique. There are other families, there's other communities, there's other small nonprofit organizations managing to do the best that they can do with limited resources. And so our vision would be to expand our reach to make a greater impact.